All right. So why would you do a cash out refinance right now into a much higher interest rate? What are the benefits? Why would people do it? Look, there is a ton of value in a property that has been taken care of, that's been updated. If I take a property that has very little updates, maybe they at least took care of the property, but very little updates, it's going to sell for significantly less than a property that is fully updated, even if it's not necessarily everyone's style. When I first got into real estate, everyone would tell me, and what I would tell everyone too, is don't renovate something just to sell it because people are going to rip it out and redo it the way that they want. That used to be the case. Nowadays, no way in hell. Now it's just you want something modern. I mean, a lot of flips have a little bit of an issue because they tend to just pick starch everything and the house looks starch. But for you, what you want to do is you want to put love and care into your property. Now, here's the benefit of some cash out refinance programs that have come out in the recent years, even though the equity is really high. So United Wholesale Mortgage, UWM, probably the number one lender I use all the time because for many, many reasons. But one of the best loans that they have is their cash out 90. So up to 90% loan to value. So you leave 10% equity in the property. But here's the thing is it has a seasoning period, right? Every loan, really you should be making about 6 months of payments, just to summarize it, before you should be able to refinance or sell. Otherwise, we can't really do the loan because everyone has to pay back every fee. It's the way that the loan works. So with this cash out 90, it's a 120-day, so 3 months of payments for the loan. So I just took a look at a client who wants about $25,000 out of their equity in order to make some major renovations. Now, their values have already gone up. They should already be refinancing into a lower rate because their rate's 6.25%. We can get them a much lower rate. That it's a case by case scenario, but we're able to get a much lower rate, but they want that equity. So their rate on a cash out refinance would be higher than the 6.25%. But this is the key. They are skipping a payment. First of all, so if they close when they close in May, they're going to be skipping June. So right now, let's say that their current payment I think is like $4,600 a month. The new payment is like $4,800 a month for 3 months, but that extra $300 for the 3 months, they'd only have to make July's payment, August payment, September's payment, and then they can refinance at the end of September so that they, once again, when they refinance, they're going to skip October and their first payment will be in November. So they're skipping June and they're skipping October. So that's what, let's say just a little over $8,000. Those 3 months of $300, that's $900. If you think about it, it makes more sense. Obviously, there is some back interest and things that you do, but it is a big benefit. Now, their value's going up so much that when they do their next refinance, looking at it, I mean, unless if values just really dropped, which in a 3 month period, the likelihood of that happening was very little, they're more likely to have 20% equity because now they've put renovations into the property. So it's a major benefit because not only are they now getting a lower rate, but they're removing their mortgage insurance, which wasn't too high to begin with, but I think it's another $125 back in their pocket every month. If they don't want to refinance, that's fine. Put the extra towards your principal and you can pay off the loan faster. Here's my thing though. With a lot of these loans, it is so case by case, situational, that what you want to do is you want to schedule a time with someone like me. And what I mean by that is someone who can go over the options without just running your credit. I pay usually for the hard pull up front or up front, and then you usually reimburse me later. But I don't feel like paying for something if it just doesn't make sense to you. So what I prefer to do is go over options. If all of the options make sense, then we talk about next steps, which usually then includes a credit inquiry, just depending on what options you're looking at. Now, this is a great loan, and everyone's a little bit different on what their value of their property is, how much money they need. Usually I say start talking to me, then start talking to maybe some contractors and people. I would talk with me about what type of renovations you're going to make because I have a system where I can look at based on the area, and I only do it, to be brutally honest, for unless if you're an investor and you have an investment property, I really only do it for people that are in the states I'm licensed in, which is California, Colorado, Texas, Florida, and Michigan.